Hello beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and in today's video I am going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 fall book recommendations. I am so excited. I love fall. I love Halloween especially. It's my favorite time of year. I don't love the cold, but I do love every other part of it. I love the aesthetic, I love the vibes, so I've got a couple of book recommendations here that will hopefully fulfill your fall desires in terms of books and vibes, and it will be great, it will be grand. And I do apologize in advance for my voice sounding as it does. I was at a concert last night and I am feeling it today in my throat because I sang very loudly. That's not important. I have a very needy cat here, and I have some great books to share with you guys, so without any further ado, let's hop right into the video. Alrighty, so the first book that I have for you guys is this adorable tiny little copy of Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I love how small it is. I know that now they're selling like normal sized copies in the stores, but this copy is so tiny and I just love it. It makes me so happy. This book, I can't explain the fall vibes in this book because I just can't. Maybe because it takes place in England and I associate England with fall for whatever reason, but sometimes my brain just kind of places things in the category of fall vibes and doesn't really have an explanation for it. And this is definitely one of those things, but I do have another reason for including this on the list. Besides the fact that it is hilarious and just a really good book, and I do recommend picking it up, I love the TV show for this book, and I'm fairly certain that I've ranted and raved about it on this channel before, but it is such a good adaptation, and it's not too terribly long, but it's definitely something you could binge watch on a cozy fall day with some hot chocolate and snacks, which is definitely fall vibes. So I do recommend you doing that. I just think this is a great fall book to read. It's a standalone, it's super cute. The show is incredible, it's got David Tennant in it. Everything about this is great and you should read it. The next book that I am recommending for you guys is actually a graphic novel, which is interesting because I don't read too many of those. I've got my little graphic novel shelf back here and these are all the ones that I have. One of these is Check Please by Ngozi Ukazu. I probably completely butchered the pronunciation of that, but I did try my best. I googled it, so hopefully I'm pretty close. We'll see. But this graphic novel, there's actually two of them. I have the first one here, the second one is right here. I love these so much. They're super cute, and it's about hockey, which takes place in the fall season, which is why it's completely like perfect for the season because duh, hockey, fall, it's great. Also, Biddy bakes a lot of pies. Biddy is the main character right here, and pies I associate with fall too. This is just a cute fall read. It's a fun little romance. It's so adorable, and you don't even have to buy the books. It is on a webcomic website. You can just Google Check Please webcomic and you can read it completely free. And it's great, and you should definitely do that because it's an adorable story and I love it. And Check Please is a hill that I will happily die on, and it would be a cute, fun little fall read, especially if you were trying to branch out and read a genre that you don't typically read, such as graphic novels. Moving right along, the next book that I have recommending for you guys is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. I know there is a sequel coming out to this book, but I really enjoyed this book overall. It did take me a little bit to get into, but I love it, and the academia vibes are so fall. Fall and academia go hand in hand to me, and I don't know why, but they do, and I love it. And it's also like conspiracy theories, and it just feels very October specifically, but especially fall too. And it's a fun book, and I think would be a great fall read to add to your TBRs. It's different. I don't think I've ever read anything quite like it before, so it's definitely something out of the box and not your standard. And it is just great academia, dark academia specifically. I don't know why a book is dark academia, but that is what I've seen many people classify it as, and I understand it, even though I don't understand why I understand it. But it definitely, the cover is so gorgeous. This book is so fall to me, and I've said that a lot in this video because that's kind of the point of the video, but it's great. And this one was a bit of a hefty read, but you know, the only disclaimer that I will put with this one is that there is going to be a second book that is not out yet. So if you're not a fan of that, maybe hold off on this one until the second book releases. Otherwise, definitely pick it up. I do recommend giving it a read, especially during the fall. It's perfect for a cozy day in. Also, gorgeous cover. Like, what more could you ask? This next book that I'm going to recommend is actually a series, but the first book specifically. But if you enjoy the first book, then definitely do pick up the rest of the series. And I'm going to talk about my feelings about the rest of the series in a minute. I've talked about them on this channel before, but it's relevant now. But the next book that I'm going to recommend for you guys is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This book is based on the great-great-great-grandchildren of Sherlock and Watson. They solve mysteries together, and they do things that you would expect the great-great-great-grandchildren of Sherlock and Watson to do together, and it's great. That came out wrong. They don't do that, but they do mystery solving together. They are detectives that are also like children, not really children, like teenagers, high school age people, I think, maybe college age people. I don't quite remember, but mystery. This book is so good. I really liked the first 3 books in this series. However, the 4th book in the series, I would rather just forget because it felt like it undid a lot of the progress that was made in the rest of the series. And I wasn't really a fan of the 4th book at all, but the rest of the series is incredible and I love it. And the Sherlock vibes also feel very fall to me, so I think this would be a pretty good fall book to read because mystery kind of feels fall to me. I don't know why, but it does. Probably, again, because Halloween and murder mysteries are spooky and all of that other fun stuff. Just the Sherlock Academia. Sherlock Academia is a specific, like, version of academia, I feel like. And this is definitely in that category, and I think probably also I associate with this book with the fall because the first time I read it was in the fall because one of my friends from school recommended it to me. But otherwise, it's just fun, and if you want a new series to get into, you should definitely pick it up. And if you do end up reading the 4th book, please let me know your thoughts on it because I would like to know if I'm alone in hating it. The final book that I have for you guys is, again, sticking with the academia vibes. I love academia, if you can't tell, and I love vibes. But this one is different than the other genres that I've recommended to you. It is fantasy, and it is mystery-ish and conspiracy theory-ish, but I love it. And it is so good, and it has one of my favorite character names that I've seen in it, which is very nice, and that is going to be Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Robertson. The cover, first of all, top tier. I know that she's releasing, I don't know if it's like a second book, or if it's just another book in the universe, or if it's a prequel, but I know she is releasing follow-up to this in some capacity, and I am very excited for that. But otherwise, this book is a standalone, and if it is about to not be a standalone, it can be read as a standalone, because again, I think it was originally intended to be that, if it is not anymore, but I don't remember what the next book is going to be in relation to this one. That's not important right now. What's important is this book can be read as a standalone. It is about a girl who is a keeper of a magical library, and there's demons, and it's great, and I loved this book so much This is a book that got me out of a reading slump at one point in time, and one of the characters' names is Silas, which I love that name. It's a good name. It was the first time I had ever heard that name, and I love it so much. I love fancy names that start with S, apparently, is my thing, because Sebastian is also one of my favorite names to exist. However, this book was a 5-star read for me. It's been a little bit, but I might end up rereading it eventually. Very autumn to me. This is probably the most fall book that I can think of on this list, actually. On vibes alone. I really wish I could give you guys a more detailed explanation of why I feel like these books are good fall recs, but a lot of it is just vibes, and I can't explain vibes. Vibes are just vibes, but that's what this is. And I think it's great for a day in with some coffee or some hot cocoa and wrapped up in blankets in your pajama pants with a cat on your lap or a dog or whatever fuzzy creature you may desire to put on your lap, or stuffed animal if you don't have any pets. It's great. You should definitely do that with this book this fall. I think you would really enjoy that experience. And that is going to wrap up my top 5 fall recommendations for your TBR if you are updating it this season. If you do decide to check any of them out, please let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them, and I would love to hear if you agree with me that these books are definitely fall vibes or not. And if not, what are some of your favorite fall vibey books? Please let me know down in the comments. And if you did make it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to subscribe because I post content twice a week. You should like the video because it's easy, comment because it makes me smile, click that link in the description to follow my Instagram where I talk about books even more, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much. Bye!